Hi guys, Jolie DeGrell here, and I'm here to present to you our Bitter Southern presentation. The main theme of majority of the readings that we had assigned to us were death, like the kickoff point of majority of the books dealt with death. And so the article that I chose called My Mother's Letters, and it deals with the death of a mother. The article was written by Teresa Nichols, and she has all these letters that her mother has written to her, and they had a very complicated, even distant relationships. But through these letters, Teresa was able to, grapple with the idea that her mom is dead and she's not coming back, and to have a consolation that her mother did love her, her mother cheered her on, and her mother was her mom. And so, with this theme of death, loss, and grief, we think of what we read in our assignments. Like the first book was Swamplandia, and in Swamplandia begins with the death of a mother. Ava, Kiwi, and Osie's mom dies of cancer. She was the glue that kept the family together, and also the main attraction of their amusement part of their attraction of alligators and their swamp things. And so with her gone, everything falls apart. So, and also the beginning of their journeys. Journeys is another theme that we interacted with or saw in our stories, of self-discovery, of finding their own voice, creating their own lives. The other death that we come contact after Swamplandia is annihilation. We learned that the biologist's husband goes on this mission in Area X. He comes back. Doesn't know how he gets in the kitchen, but he's back. And then not long after that, he dies. And so the biologist accepts the mission to go into Area X to somehow get closer to her husband, and also try to understand why is this area in Florida turned into Area X, what is happening, and even deal with the death of her husband, which she kind of doesn't really grapple with it. It's there. She's kind of struggling with it, and also with her own self. And so the following reading after that we're doing now is called Mostly Dead Things. Again, death. And in the book, we are introduced back to a death. Jessa Lynn's dad dies. He commits suicide. She finds him in a chair, hole in face. And she is not only dealing with the death of her father, but also the taxidermy business that is falling apart, the coping mechanism that her mother is dealing with. Well, I shouldn't say dealing, that wouldn't be well, that would be good, but using the taxidermy animals to make explicit displays in front of the shop. And so she's like, okay, my dad just died and my mother is kind of losing it. So she's dealing with that. And so it got me thinking of the stages of grief. So there's 5 stages of grief. So the first stage is denial. And so the person who displays really this stage of denial is Osie. She doesn't even deal with the death of her mother. She just dives into the supernatural, and she gets attached to this ghost called Louis Armstrong. And she just goes off with him. And so her denial of just death in general is kind of almost like an obsession. And then the second stage of grief is anger. And Jessa displays some anger towards her mom is there, but also anger towards her dad for leaving all this stuff for her to deal with. He taught her how to do the taxidermy. Her brother was there, Milo was there, but he didn't really show any interest in it, so she had to take it up. So she's dealing with that. And then her mom's displays is getting attention from everyone. And so, and then with a new person who takes interest in her mother's displays, it's just another pile on the stuff that she has to deal with. And then the third stage is bargaining. Now, Ava bargains with the Birdman in a sense. Like, she's still young. She needs her mother. And then her sister goes. And so in order for her to, understand grief and the loss and go search for her sister who has just ran away with a ghost, she bargains with the Birdman to find her sister. And in the process of bargaining with the Birdman, she's assaulted and a part of her kind of dies and she almost gets eaten by an alligator. So there's that. And then the fourth is depression. And Teresa Nichols exhibits that in her essay when she just wants to hear her mother's voice again. And it's like she's not there. She's never going to come back. So how do I deal with knowing that my mother is not coming back? So the letters is for her consolation, and to knowing that my mother's gone, but here's her letters, here's her words. And then the last stage in grief is acceptance. The biologist shows complete acceptance of her grief and her lonely childhood, the death of her husband, even in the ending when she knows that Area X has consumed her and she's not going to come back to reality. I shouldn't say reality, to society. And if she does, she won't be the same. She'll be something entirely different. So that concludes my presentation of Our Bitter Southern. I can't wait to hear what y'all have to say or what y'all seen or the comparisons that y'all have. Be good to hear that. And y'all have a great day. Bye.